Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to another Keep Six Instagram Live. I am your host, Rachel. Welcome, everyone. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes for our special guest. We have a very, very special guest that's gonna be joining us today. How has everybody's day been? Today's been a very, very important day. I think a day full of a lot of emotions. I'm just waiting on a few more people to come on. As you know, it is our weekly Wednesday Instagram Live that is hosted by myself and Natasha Pennycook, where we feature a lot of individuals from the community that are doing amazing things within the community itself. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we have special guest Oderiic that is going to be coming on today, and he is going to be talking about his music. He's a singer, he's a songwriter. He actually participated in our Stop the Gun Violence concert that we had back in December. And I'm very, very excited to have him. Natasha, hello. So anyone, if you have questions for Oderiic, you can actually just forward them in the chat, and Natasha will be feeding them to me. For Oderiic to come on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey.
Oh, hello. What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime.
How has your year been thus far?
To be honest, it's been good, man. A lot of ups and downs and stuff. I mean, no one predicted COVID and like the lockdowns and like all the restrictions and stuff like that. But I mean, it's been good. It's been good overall.
That's good. I feel like this 2021, I mean, through everything we've been through in 2020, 2021 may not have for everybody started the way they would have liked it to start, but we're evolving.
You gotta evolve, man. With everything that's going on, trust me, you can't be stagnant and stay the same. You have to.
Exactly, 100%. Well, thank you for coming on and joining me here. As I mentioned, like, we like to feature a lot of people from the city.
Yes.
Hence the name Connect the Six. Feature people who are doing big things in the city and really highlight some of what you've been doing yourself. So I guess first off, I'll let you kind of have the floor a little bit. Tell people who you are. Tell people a little bit about yourself, what you do.
My name is Oderiic. I actually got that name from just joining three of my names together, my real names. I sing and songwrite. I've been singing and songwriting since I could remember still. I started singing before I could even talk. So it's always been like a big part of my life, you know? And I work right now called ATOM, some amazing, beautiful people on my team. And basically my whole plan was when I first started, I rebranded because I was using my original name before and I rebranded. I'm just like, you know what? Once we rebrand, I just want to take this like to the limit, to the skies, you know what I mean? Like as far as it can go. And like I was happy enough and lucky enough to meet some people that not only like believed in what I was doing, but like, you know what I mean? They put action towards it. So, yeah.
I like that you said that you rebranded, because oftentimes people are very afraid of rebranding.
The thing is, especially even why that decision was for me, it's just like I was always making music, right? And anyone that knew me knew that's what I did, right? But I never put anything out for some reason. I've never put nothing out. Like so I'd make like a ton of songs and stuff like that, but never ever put anything out. And then
Kept them in the vault.
yeah, right? So like I'm like, yo, I can't, if I was to like actually start it seriously and start putting stuff out, I don't want to go under the old name where I was kind of like
Yeah.
other people's eyes, I should say, on, off, and on, and off, and on. You know what I mean? In terms of putting out material. So I was just like, I just need something fresh, a fresh start, and we take it from there, you know?
And how's that fresh start been going for you?
It's been going amazing. I can't lie. Like, it's been going really good, man. I mean, just like anything else, I have my, like, ups and downs, especially when it comes to the industry and stuff like that. But it's been going really good, man.
That's good. That's good. So I know you said you started singing before you were talking.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think you had said like you started singing from like 3 or something like that. When did you realize like you had like a real passion for music when you're like, I'm gonna pursue this?
Um, to be honest, I think it was something like I always knew. It was just about actually finding, not, I wouldn't just say just the resources, but the resources had a lot to do with it, but finding that that extra motivation, I guess, just to do it. Because like I said, I've always like made music and recorded songs and been writing songs and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, I didn't put it out, right? So I think it was just about finding that fire and sticking with that fire I felt and like that motivation I felt, you know, and just take it from there.
Yeah. And I feel that like sometimes people may be so afraid to really try something out to pursue something, right?
Yeah,
It's always the what ifs. Like, what if this doesn't work out? What if people don't like what I'm putting out? What
yeah,
if, you know what I mean? So it's amazing that you have a team, and I've been honored to at least meet a few of the members on your team to really see the support that you have backing you behind it.
yeah. It's pretty amazing, man. I can't lie. I mean, I feel like especially a lot of the times too, as just individuals, like that's one of the things we're missing. Just like it doesn't have to be like 20, 30 people with you, whatever the case is, right? But somebody, like even if it's one person, two people, like holding you accountable to what you say, your dreams or your goals or whatever the case is, and not like in a disrespectful way, like you know, like F you and rap, but just holding you accountable, like yo, Oderiic, like you said we were going to do this, like you know, let's. I mean, just give you a word of encouragement to remind you, like, okay, yo, like don't drop the ball just because you got 5 points, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah,
keep going,
keep it going.
yeah.
Right. And it keeps you, I think it keeps you humble as well, too, right?
Yes.
So we been talking a little bit. We talked about this a little bit before, but the city right now has had a lot of politics in the music industry.
Yeah.
What's your opinion right now on the current culture of what's going on in the city currently?
My what? Sorry, my opinion on
What's
the.
your opinion on the current culture when it
Um,
comes to the music industry in like the Toronto music industry?
yeah, yeah. To be honest with you, like I feel like a lot of people in the city, like they're lost, right? They feel like not only are they lost, but like yeah, they play into that realm of like you know the politics, the he say she say, the yo I'm from this block, I'm from that block, and right, like it really gets mixed up where music begins and the politic ends, right? Because a lot of these guys, like I said, instead of making it about entertainment, making it about getting out the hood, taking care of your family, taking care of the people you love. They literally make it about yeah, just the violence, politicking with each other, and like I was even talking to my team about this the other day too. Like basically like not that you can't get on that way, but once you get on that way, however way you get on is basically what you're gonna have to keep doing in some type of a sense, right? So if you're a part of the poly, like it really doesn't stop. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to keep portraying that. You're gonna have to keep like to keep your fans entertained because that's what you do to entertain them, right?
Mm.
And I feel like a lot of the stuff in the city right now too, it really don't have a lot to do with like music or culture. It has a lot to do with polys, like you know, who has a problem with who's talking about who, like all that stuff, right? I feel like
Right.
it's more oriented towards not just music, but like just infrastructure, us coming together and doing stuff together, stuff like that. Instead of worrying about polys, we'd be much further still.
Yeah, like if we worked together as a community and had substance. I think somebody said earlier that there's no substance currently. And when I think back to like when I was growing up, and the music that was coming out at that time, where there was actual substance behind what was coming out versus what's going out now, where, like you said, it's a lot of politics, right?
Yes,
And when we think of the new generation that's coming out, and there's being aspiring actors and what have you, the examples that they're looking at are individuals that are feeding into this current culture as opposed to providing them with the substance to do something different.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And I feel like too, it gives like the young people like a false sense of hope. Like they feel like they got to do this certain type of thing to get to that place, right? Because they see so and so do it, right? But
Right.
there's so many different avenues to get. Like, bro, the music industry is huge. There's so much things you could be doing to get to that goal that you want to hit, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that is one way, but at the end of the day, I think we all see where like eventually that gets you, right?
Right. No, I believe that for sure. And that's why, so December we had the Stop Gun Violence concert. Um, because one of the things that we've seen, speaking about politics, is that there's been a lot of huge Toronto artists that have been dying in the streets. And these are a lot of the people that the youth look up to. Right? So December we had a concert, Stop Gun Violence, to really feature Toronto artists that were doing something different. And you were one of the artists
Yes, yes.
that was on the concert. Um, First off, why? Like, what was it? Because I know in your interview you speak on being a voice for those who don't have a voice.
Yeah.
Why?
Basically, cause okay, like me, I'm a country boy, an island boy. First of all, before even like anything, right? I was born in St. Vincent. I spent like my adolescent years there and stuff like that. So like I kind of like how they say like Caribbean kids are a little more advanced than their kids. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of little knew a little bit more. So when I came up here, certain things like even though I was integrated into like another minority neighborhood, basically like I was more aware. Like and just in general, I'm observant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I know what it is. I know like on a daily basis, especially being stuck in a hood or minority space like that, whatever the case is, bro. You go through emotional trauma, if not like every day, every other day, right? I mean, from your peers, from the cops, from the older people, men, women, brown, black, Chinese, brown, like you know what I mean. So it's just like you really, like I said, a team, if not a team, at least two people, one person, like they're encouraging you, holding you accountable for your goals and like stuff you want to do. That's real. I feel like that's really essential, man. Because a lot of those people, like I said, they don't. It's like they'll do something or say something, but like people will quickly dismiss it, right? Because
Yeah.
of how they present themselves, where they from, maybe who they associate with, and stuff like that. So I feel like I don't think that's always the right thing to do to just quickly dismiss these people because of maybe where they're located or maybe you know what I mean. Maybe that's that one talk that you should have had with them would have changed their mind and be like, you know what, maybe Rachel's right, man. Maybe I shouldn't go down there every day at 7 just to go smoke weed on the block or just to, you know what I mean, go sell drugs. You know what I mean? You never know. Sometimes I feel like that's all I needed, right? Just that one person be like, yo, what do you do? Like, and a lot of the times that did happens for the most, especially because of my music, right? And people are like, yo, what are you doing down here? Like, you're not supposed to be here, man, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to it taking a village. Like, it takes a village. It can't just be one person.
Yeah.
It doesn't just rely on just one person to raise a child. It takes an entire village, right? So coming together from various areas and you being somebody from a musical background, I'm sure you had a lot of people that were drawn to you based on your music and what you were putting out there.
Yeah. I mean, some people didn't even know my name. They just knew they're like, "Yo, sing a man," or like, and I'll just roll with it because it's like I know they're not coming from a place of disrespect, and like just in turn, like I said, they connected something to me that wasn't a part of the minority shit, a part of the hood, or like it was something positive, right? So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm the singer, man. Like it was dope still.
Yeah. Was there any sort of supports, either community supports or what have you, when you were growing up that
Um,
you can remember?
yeah, there was this place called LEF, Learning Enrichment Foundation, which they were really they try to be as hands on with the kids around my community as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, a lot of it had to do with the mindset of these kids, right? Even though I was young, I hang around a lot of older people. So like the things I soaked in and like what I saw and what I was, I mean, there was like a little bit more mature. But people that were my age, they were hanging around other people that were their age, right? So some
Mm-hmm.
stuff they were doing in their mindset wasn't really going towards like a program like LEF or like, you know what I mean, like trying to better yourself or fix up your resume and all that stuff, right? They're
Right.
doing what everyone else was doing.
Right. Do you feel that supports like that would be more beneficial in marginalized communities? Like you see the benefit yourself firsthand?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, I think a lot of it, like I said, has to do with like the mindset and these kids' upbringing. Like, who are they around a lot, and like, what are they taking in? Like, you know what I mean? Are they around people that are encouraging them to better themselves, or like they're around people that are encouraging the politics? Like, you know,
Right.
like
Right.
for the most part, especially coming up, like, and when you're a teenager, you're seeing stuff, you're doing stuff. Like, for the most part, kids will listen, but it's just what they're listening to, right? Who they listening to, right? They listen, but it's just like, yeah, I mean, what's gonna motivate them to act on what they're listening to?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you've had a couple songs, Through My Eyes. I think that was one of the songs that you did for the concert.
Yeah.
Um, and I think there's a couple other songs that really resonated with me. Elevate.
Yes.
And I have one more. I wrote it down. It was Pray For.
Yeah.
And they really speak to a lot of what we've been talking about, a lot of what at-risk youth are facing, what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And you've been able to be that voice specifically, especially when we're looking at systemic racism. So I know we've talked about, a bit about like what supports that you had in place.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up in a marginalized community, um, did you find, I guess the question I would say is, how have you, or I guess here's a better way to term it, when it came to outreach, so you've been able to produce music that really speaks to a different lifestyle. And I'm actually going to play one of the songs that you did for the concert.
Yeah.
But do you currently see, especially now with COVID, how do you think the youth can be better supported at a time when, let's say, for example, community centers aren't opened, outreach centers aren't opened? What could we do to support that?
I mean, me myself, I've been like, especially during the COVID moment, I've been getting like little courses myself and try to educate myself on just little different things like that. But I feel like maybe if a 1-2 courses were open, like how everything's online and stuff like that, even interviews like this, like basically try to direct their mental mind and health to something positive. Because like I'm a strong believer of like whatever you do repeatedly or think about repeatedly or, you know what I mean, engage in repeatedly, you're gonna eventually either end up doing or be associated with someone that does that type of stuff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if we could, it's all about like consistency at the end of the day. If we could consistently give them a place to, like, okay, I'll explain it like this. You know, like when you hear the song on the radio for the first time, right? And you're like, yo, I kind of like it, like, you know, it's whatever, right? But after you heard it for like the 100th time, like you pick something in that
Yep.
song. It might not even be the words. It might just be the like, yeah, you know what? Fine. If I have to listen to this, cool. I'm a pick. I like the drums. Like, you know what I mean? It's about consistency at the end of the day. I feel like if you consistently give them a place to like not only feel comfortable, like, you know what I mean, they have good mental health when they go there. No one's like, they don't feel like being judged, like they're being judged or like, you know what I mean, ridiculed.
Right.
Eventually, they might not hit it the first time, the second time, but as long as they know that a place like that is there, you know what I mean? Eventually, like they'll reach out. They'll be like, okay, you know, let me go see what these people are about, or let me go. Oh, for real, this person made $500 off this course. He didn't have to sell no drugs. He didn't have to stand on the corner. All right, fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just about having those places available and those type of things available. Because a lot of the times when I was growing up, I used to feel like there was only like one way to do something, right? Like only trap or whatever, go get in trouble. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't aware of like other things that were out, even though they were right there. I never made myself aware of those things.
It's true. And it's what you're surrounded by as well too,
Yeah,
right? So if the environment that you're around isn't necessarily contributing in terms of thinking outside of the box or thinking differently, then there's really no direction in terms of you really being able to
yeah,
think either too, right?
that's true.
So through my eyes, um, you wrote this song. I mean, you pretty much write all of your songs, and you do a lot of the producing too. So you're doing everything on the back end.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Tell me about what the writing process was for this song.
Um, Honestly, I just wanted to come from a place of like I said, where I could speak for people that are in a position of like systematic racism and like, you know what I mean, that are going through emotional trauma on a daily basis, but not feel like I don't want to make them feel like I was judging them, you know, like, oh, you
Right.
need to be better, or like I'm better than you type of stuff, right? So the first words that came to my head was like through my eyes, because like it may sound funny, but like some people may look at themselves and they don't see what another person may see in them, right? The potential that they, because they've been brainwashed, or like I was saying before, they're not aware of certain things that might be there to help them. Opportunities might be there, right? So I just wanted to be as non-offensive as I could when I was speaking, and I mean to be like, yo, just look at yourself, but look at yourself through my eyes. You see yourself this way.
Mm-hmm.
That's just who you are, like right now in this present moment, right? Like there could
Yeah.
be, or you have so much more potential than how you're looking at yourself, right?
Yeah. No, and I feel we had so many people respond to that song um, and speaking to them specifically. To this day, we have people that are still rewatching the Stop Gun Violence concert and DM us to say that that was one of the songs that really stood out to them.
That's it.
So I think you did something huge with this song. I'm going to take a couple minutes just to play it so everybody that's on here can hear it.
Let's do it.
Um, Let me know if, because I'm playing it off my laptop, so I don't know how the sound's going to look, but let's see. Let's try it. I'm going to try it. See if this works. Can you hear it okay?
Look at yourself. See yourself through my eyes. And I know that the world could be cruel to you sometimes, but that's alright, cause you know yourself. Pick yourself up one more time. Everything could change right now at this moment. So stay focused. Look at yourself. See yourself through my eyes. And I know that the world could be cruel to you sometimes, but that's alright, cause you know yourself. Pick yourself up one more time. Everything could change right now at this moment. So stay focused. Never keep your head up, there'll be another day. If everything went right, then you'll never change. I won't judge you, I used to be in your place. But everything was everyone else's fault but mine. Hurting hearts come alive in the night time. You're the reason I believe that in the first place. I hate to make you feel alone, but you need me. I'm trying to show you you don't need nobody but yourself. Thought I wanted more friends in the worst way. Like she told me that it wasn't what I needed. After several times that just can't be a mistake. You learn from that, then it's gonna keep repeating. Believe me, thought I had an angel watching over me. But I'm by myself and I'll be fighting all these demons. I know I said this once before, but I repeat it. In case nobody ever told you I believe in you. Look at yourself. One day. See yourself through my eyes. And I know that the world could be cruel to you sometimes, but that's alright, cause you know yourself. Pick yourself up one more time. Everything could change right now at this moment. So stay focused. If things don't end up working out, there'll be another way. If everything went right, then you'll never change. So much easier to never look at yourself. Like it's the fault, no, it's his fault where I think cheating. Even when I think I be having the worst day. Somehow I always bounce back and start achieving. Whenever I thought I wanted more friends in the worst way. I just showed me that it wasn't what I needed. But past the point where we could call this all a mistake. If you don't learn from that, then it's gonna keep repeating. Believe me, anything watching over me. I'm by myself when I be fighting all these demons. I know I said this once before, but I'm repeating it. In case nobody ever told you I believe in you. Look at yourself. See yourself through my eyes. And I know that the world could be cruel to you sometimes, but that's alright, cause you know yourself. Pick yourself up one more time. Everything could change right now with this moment. So stay focused and be ready. See yourself through my eyes. And I know that the world could be cruel to you sometimes, but that's alright, cause you know yourself. Pick your Yes, yes, yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, I had a
All the comments. This is a hit. This song is fire. Always coming through with the fire. Needs to be on the radio.
soon time. We just gonna keep pushing, you know?
No, for sure. 100%.
I feel like that's what it's about too, man. Like especially the city we live in, Toronto, I know it's full of haters and stuff like that, but a lot of people need to realize like when you're going after something and like you have a goal in mind, like not everybody's gonna share your vision, right? Not everybody's gonna love like immediately what you're doing. Nobody, you know what I mean? Not everyone can see the end goal you're trying to hit, and not even it's not just about the end goal, but when you are hitting, you know what I mean, going on a mission, stuff like that. Like when you set goals, not everyone's gonna agree with you, man, and you just gotta be believing yourself enough to be like, you know what, regardless of whatever is going on, like any who says what, whatever the case may be, you keep pushing, right? You keep pushing,
No,
keep
for
pushing.
sure. For sure. And that was actually going to lead into the next question I was going to ask you in terms of how do you encourage youth to look to the future with confidence? Because like we said, everything that they're seeing, the role models that they have right now are people that are all wrapped up in a certain game, and there's no real role models currently, especially when it comes to in the industry. So how do they follow those aspirations, but put it to good the way that you're doing? Because I'm sure you had a lot of pushback when you started.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, number one, it's having a solid team is important. But I think it's just knowing what you want, right, and not letting no one deter you from like basically like I heard this meme today. It said basically it's about your internal, right? Know what you want internally. There's always gonna be stuff externally that's gonna come to either to bother you, make you happy, throw you off, distract you. Like you gotta keep in your mind. Don't be delusional. There's always gonna be external stuff that's gonna come to you, right? But internally, I would say to the youth, them just try to build yourself internally, man. Because once you do that, not no matter what, but like a lot of stuff that comes to you, you're gonna be able to deal with it because internally you're set, right? You know what you want, like you know what it is you're going for, like so even if like you don't hit the mark by that much, you're not like your day's not done, your life's not over. You get back up, you try again, and keep it moving, right?
Right. How do you build yourself internally?
How do I do my what?
How do you build yourself internally?
Um, Honestly, I overthink. I don't know about other people, but I overthink a lot, right? So for me, it's about solitude half of the time. Like I'm a loner, like you know what I mean, by just by nature, like so a lot of solitude because that's where you find out what you like, what you don't like. When people come into your space and disturb it, like maybe that's like a red flag. Not for that person in particular, but just to you, like okay, I don't like this. When I'm like sometimes I'll be reading or sometimes making a song, be like okay, when I'm in this mode, I don't
Right.
really like when people like you know what I mean. So just find out who you are, find out what you like, find out what makes you tick, and then take it from there, right? Because once you know, it's gonna be hard for somebody else to throw you off your balance, like, right, make you question yourself.
Right.
When you don't know, it's easy for them to do that, make you question yourself that much more. Because it's like, oh, am I grumpy at 4? Like, like you know what I mean? Do I take things too harshly? Like, but once you know yourself at least more than others, like that helps a lot. That
Right.
helps a whole lot.
It calls for a lot of self reflection.
Hmm.
A
Hmm.
lot of self-reflection. And it's true. You need to know yourself first before you can even attempt to know somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even with my career too, right? I before anyone believed in what I did, I believed in that shit wholeheartedly, like with everything I had, right? And I still do. But I feel like if I didn't have that belief from from a long time ago, I wouldn't have been the person I am today, right? I wouldn't have worked on the music so hard. I wouldn't have like when other people chose to go out and party, stay in my basement and write songs, like right? It's just because I believe like internally, like yo, this is my purpose. And not only that, like because I used to make beats, write the song, record it, do the like you know what I mean. Then I chose, I'm like, you know what, I need to like just stick to one thing,
Mm-hmm.
get it really good at that. And then once I get really good at that, then maybe I could move on, right? So I was already good at singing. From I just gifted at singing, so I was like, okay, I'll keep working on that. But then I just picked writing because I was like, I want to be able to express myself in the way that I see fit, right? I don't
Right.
wait on somebody else or have someone else's expression, you know what I mean, and have to sing it out that way, right? So I was just like, I started focusing on writing. I was already good at singing, and I just started working on those things. And internally, it built me to a confidence of like, now I know my way around the song. I could write a verse, no problem. I could write any type of song for any type of occasions because like I dedicated myself and my time to those things, right? And I made sure that no one, like I said, from the external broke me internally. Like, oh, yo, I don't really like. If someone say for instance, someone say, I don't really like that song. I don't really like that. It is what it is, right? Like, I take it with a grain of salt and I just keep it moving. Like,
Right. Right. I like that. I like that. Vanetta said solitude is where the growth happens. Block out the noise and clear your vision.
it really is. I agree with that, 100%. It's hard to know self when you're around so much people, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to hear what everybody else is saying.
Mm,
Um, whether it be positive or negative, or it may be they may mean well, but not necessarily say it in the right manner. And
yeah,
it's very easy to take that personally to um, let that kind of break you down or to stop you from doing what you're doing. So I love that idea of just kind of blocking out the noise. And it's true, when you're comfortable with yourself, you can be comfortable regardless of the situation that you're put in.
it's true. Even right now, like, I have a lot of tracks that I want to put out, like party tracks and like want to trap rare, but it's just like, I really want to show the younger youth coming up that yo, you can be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself, man. Don't be afraid to be different, right? There's more than one way to win, especially if the music industry is what you want. But with anything, there's more than one way to get to that goal that you're looking after, right? Don't be afraid to be different. Most of the times, that's how you win. Most of the times when people are like, "Yo, that's you're weird," or like, you know, that we don't do stuff like that. Like that's what makes you stand out half the time. That's what's gonna make push you through that barrier, right? Especially in this day and age, like people's attention span is short, right? So if I had come out like I felt like, cause like I said, I have those type of songs. I'm gonna drop them eventually. But I feel like if I had came out on the same wave as everyone else, I would have just got lost in that wave in that crowd, right? Just another. Hey, he's just another okay that type of artist. Cool.
Yeah. And then it's you not being true to yourself, which
Exactly.
Natasha's saying, that be your authentic self.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, like I come from the streets. Like I've done a lot of street shit, fucked up shit. I could be talking about that all day and like you know what I mean, endorsing the madness and stuff like that. But not only wouldn't it be true to myself, but it's just like I've learned so much and I'm trying to apply it in my life, right? And I've noticed, especially a lot of songs that I've written, like I'd write a song or I'd record a song. If I didn't write it, do 4x4 bars or whatever. And then as I'm learning it, as I'm repeating it and singing it and rapping, whatever the case may be, the stuff I'm saying starts happening. It's crazy. Like every time, it never fails. So like I'm very careful about certain things I put in my songs, right? Because like I said, I overthink. So once it's in my head and I have to learn it now, it's like beating in my head 24. So maybe for a week, I'm just like on that song, right? Repeating it, thinking it, manifesting it into my life. Like stuff, it eventually happens.
You're speaking it into existence.
Yeah, yeah. it happened with a lot of the rappers we see now. Like a lot of the rappers that are in Toronto, overseas, all that stuff. Like they invite that type of energy into their life, right?
Right.
Even if it wasn't there before, or if it was there before, then they stopped and then they started like inviting that energy again. I mean, eventually, like what you think becomes things, right? It
Yeah.
manifests.
Yeah. No, it's true. It is true. Natasha was saying, think bigger and do better.
I
It's true.
100%, Sasha.
Because ideally, you're inviting it in, right? And art is such a, as goes to saying, art is very powerful. It's such a powerful thing, and especially when it comes to music. Like music is something that speaks. It's an international language, right? It speaks to everyone. Everyone's able to relate in some manner. So what you're inviting, what you're putting out, is also what you're inviting in.
It's very true. And even with the fact that I got the opportunity to perform at the concert and stuff like that, I feel like the fact that I'm able to be versatile with my music and express myself in different ways, it helps, right? Because it's like if I feel like if I wasn't, I wouldn't even be invited to like I got invited to Canadian Music Week, but that was because I was singing and the song that they picked, like it was just different, right? Even when they emailed me, we were like, "Yo, we chose you because you didn't sound like anyone else, basically," and it
Yeah.
like gave me confidence within myself. Like, okay, you're doing something right, right? Just
Right.
keep on building on that, keep it on going in that direction.
And it keeps you organic because, like you said, it's very easy to get lost in the wave when you're doing something that everybody else wants to hear. It's what the end thing is, right?
Yeah,
Um, but it's not being organic, it's not being true to yourself. And eventually, as you've seen time and again, unfortunately, a lot of people fall off.
yeah,
So being able to make a name for yourself, staying unique, keeping yourself separate from others to say, this is what separates me from the rest,
yes,
um, but still being true to what your motive is and what your purpose is, right? Which is really being able to um, speak for those who don't have a voice. And not to say that you can't have bangers and party songs and what have you,
yeah, yeah.
but
I,
being that versatility that we were speaking about.
it's true. I mean, like I'm sure some of you see right now. I don't get it. So, like, I smoke my loud or whatever the case is. Like, I've in the past, like I said, I've had to do it because I've lived in the hood, right? I've seen things, done things, witnessed things, and stuff like that. But it's just like I've heard this story before, and like, it's basically two sons. It's two sons, and they had this dad, right? And one of the sons said, "Oh, he ended up in jail. He's always in trouble and stuff like that." But his dad was an alcoholic, right? And when people asked him like, "Oh, why you like this?" Right? He's like, "Oh, because of my dad." Right? But the other son, he's never been in trouble before. He did all like he went to college, he has a wife, kids, and then people ask him the same like, "Why you like this?" And he's like, "It's because of my dad." Right? But it's just about how you perceive things up here, right?
Right.
You can use it for like your benefit, or you can make it like be detrimental to you.
Correct. Right. Right. And how you change the narrative.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because one person, like I said, from the example I use, one person could be using it to play victim, and the other person could be, "Oh, what? Yes, this happened. Yes, my father is like this, but at the same, the other son was kind of giving them props, like, okay, you know what? You're an example of nothing I want to be, regardless of if you're my dad or not. I still love you, but it's
Yeah.
just a great example of what not to that I don't want. You know what I mean?
No, it's true. It's true. So for everyone that's joining, we are live with Oderiic, who is a artist, a singer, songwriter from Toronto. If anyone has any questions or anything that they want, please feel free to put them in the chat. The way we process our life experiences, yeah, 100%. It's a way to express yourself in ways you normally can't. I'm assuming that's through your music, 100%. Yeah.
I agree. I agree 100%.
So what's next for you?
Um, Honestly, me and the team are excited, man. Like for this 2021, I'm just gonna go super hard. I plan to just drop at least 2 tracks every month, and basically just see where my audience is at. Like I said, fill it out. Keep dropping. Keep being true to myself. Keep dropping tracks consistently, and just build community. Right. I mean, for me, like it has a lot more to do with like than followers or just famous and all this stuff like that. Right. I mean, I really love music, right? And it's been a passion of mine since like before everyone and their grandma thought it was cool to be an artist, basically, right? So it's so exciting and like exhilarating to see the passion of mine like start where it was and like where it's at now. Even though for certain people at this moment it may not be like uh, a crazy point in my career. For me, it's like amazing, man. To see all the work we put in, to have the team I have right now, like to know going forward, like what we have planned and like how it's gonna turn. It's gonna be amazing. I have no doubt.
All the hard work pays off, especially when um, it's to trust the process.
Yeah, yeah, man, it really is.
People think it's gonna happen overnight, and it doesn't happen overnight. You gotta trust the process.
I told a couple of my friends this too. I'm like, yo, fam, there's no such thing as overnight. It's only overnight to you because you just heard of him. But it's like homie's been putting in work. You feel me? Like work. Because even some of the artists I see now, like I talk to some of my other friends too. They ask me about like how my career and going stuff like that. It's just like I realize a lot of these artists have so much to learn, and like they should be excited about that. You know, a lot of them look at it differently, but like that's a part of the journey, man. For me, for instance, like I've learned like promo and marketing, like it has a lot to do with, especially being an artist. You either need to have a team or be very skilled in knowing how to promo and market your brand. Because at the end of the day, that's just gonna pivot you to where you need to be,
Right.
right? I mean, you can make a million songs if no one's hearing them, then you know.
How bad do you want it?
Not just that, but like okay, you have this brand now, right? You're doing this thing, even if you're a street gang rapper, whatever the case is. Like I said, these guys that use poly to promo, that's a form of promo and marketing, right? But I'm
Yeah.
just like before we were saying, I'm just trying to show the youth and Leo that that doesn't only have to be the only way that you get on, right? Like, there's other way you could be. It may take a little longer, but usually this, especially the careers that take longer to build, last longer, right?
Yeah.
The ones that come real fast, like how you get something is how usually how you lose it with anything.
So we have a question here. The question is, which artists and genres where your do your music inspirations come from?
Okay, that's a good question. Um, well, coming back, like I said, I was born in St. Vincent. My uncle, he used to shout out Marcus. My uncle used to go on travel on boats and stuff and work on boats. So he'd come back and he'd always bring. He had this big black case of like CDs, and it'd just be like a bunch of different stuff. You know, I was always fast, and he'd have this big like sound system, and he'd come back and just pump stuff, and I just like sit there and just listen. He had everything, man. He had like Tina Turner, he had Celine Dion, but a lot of my big influences that I like listening to from his pouch when I started was like Usher, R. Kelly, Jagged Edge, like a lot of old school R&Bs because I sing, right? So
Mm,
R&B stuff. I listened to a lot of Jay-Z at one point too. Um, but mostly it was mostly songs that were about singing
right.
and stuff like that. I was just in love with that. I was I listened
Music.
to Trey songs as well coming up when he first started. That just gotta make it. Just gotta let that. That was my shit.
The 90s. The 90s is where it's at, 100%. Somebody else is asking, what's the next song to look out for?
The next song that I'm gonna drop is Through My Eyes, and I'm thinking we're either dropping Got Next or Blessings, but Through My Eyes is the next song I'm gonna be dropping on Spotify, and Elevate, the video is
Elevate.
out this month. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, Through My Eyes still hasn't been released yet.
No, we have to push it back a little. We have to push it back a little.
Okay. So you guys got like a first-hand experience to hearing it before it's been released.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Uh,
We're planning to release it on the 12th of this month, but we just have to
okay.
push it back a little bit.
Okay. So we know what to look out for coming shortly. Someone asked, do you get discouraged sometimes?
Yeah, yeah. I won't front, man. I mean, that's what I was saying before, right? With dealing with your internal and the external, right? That stuff is always gonna be there, right? But it's about, like I said, it goes back to the mental health. It's about what you choose to keep focusing on. I've learned this throughout my career too, especially when I rebranded. If you choose to keep focusing on, yo, this person's talking shit about you, or yo, your shorty's saying this, or yo, your money, like, it's gonna distract you. It's gonna get to you, right? Because
Right.
allowing it to. But if internally, I'm not saying nothing will ever break you, nothing will ever distract you. I'm saying, like, if you consistently working on your internal for whatever it is, it might not be music. If you want to be a carpenter, you're an electrician, if you're consistently working on internal,
Right.
not a lot can stop you externally, right? You have to allow that stuff, you know what I mean, to come in. So once it comes in and your internals are at least a little bit stable, you're gonna be like, nah, what you're saying is foolish. What do you mean? I can still go check my girl. I can still drop my mom and put 4 hours into my music. What are you talking about? Crazy. So it's about your mental. Deal with
Yeah.
your mental, and like a lot of stuff will start aligning.
I said, don't give in to the external distractions.
Yeah, I can't lie. I've let myself slip for like, even if you have to deal with stuff for like a month or two and get like, don't beat yourself up about it, man. You have a life to live. Like, that was only 1 month out of your life where you had to deal with something. You know what I mean? You deal with it, take the time, and just keep pushing.
Yeah, it's fast. And we're all human, right? So it's only, we have to be gentle with ourselves and accept all the emotions.
Yeah,
We have to, it's one thing to, a lot of people are very accustomed to just suppressing everything, right? But being able to acknowledge those emotions, um, allow yourself to feel, but at the same time, as much as you're allowing yourself to feel, also realize when it's time to say, okay, now let's get back to hustling. Let's get back to making it happen.
back to the drawing board. Very correct.
Exactly. Right? But it's only natural. It's only natural for you to have those off days. We're all human. We all
No,
go through.
sure. That's where, like I said, even if you have that one person, like I said, that's holding you accountable, that's where you like, and not like I said, not in a way that makes you feel bad about yourself. Just like, yo, dog, like, okay, you've had your pity party, like, let's
Right.
get back to it, you know?
Right. I know somebody that we follow who had put up a post earlier. I think it was today or yesterday. And she said, I give myself 24 hours. She's like, I allow myself to whatever emotion it is. She's like, I give myself 24 hours, and then after that, it's back on. And I thought, I'm like, I liked that.
Yeah, you
I
have,
like that.
you have to give yourself, like you said, suppressing it don't help. I mean, it may help for, I guess, a little bit in that moment, may seem like it helped, but like, it never really goes away when you suppress it, right?
Right.
Take your time out, you deal with what you need to do, and then you bounce back in whatever way works for you at that moment in time. And then little by little, it'll all start coming back together, like, you know?
That.
But not, and that's a part of the process too, where stuff is not over. It's not an overnight thing. It's not a one, like, it's a daily, like, okay, you know? Not just about the music or not just about my career, but like even myself too. It's a daily thing. Like, okay, we working, we know this now. Okay, let's apply it. You know?
Right. No, that's real. That's real. So, just to close it off, what advice do you have for the young people out there? I know you've talked about it quite a bit throughout the day, but just as a summary.
You guys just be true to yourself. Um, put who you are into the world, and let those who accept it, and those that don't, they don't. It's okay. You're good. You move on. You know, and be diligent, man. Like Rachel was saying, not like the overnight thing, and it's just presented to you like that. It's presented. I mean, that's to get you to buy more records or buy into what it like. Just take your time with yourself. You know, everything that you want it really is already there. But just take your time, take it day by day, and you'll get to where you want to be. And try to keep don't have yes men around you. Actually have somebody that can hold you accountable, and like I said, not in a degrading way neither. Like, you know, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a bunch of people, because then it starts getting, you know, kind of emotionally draining. But even if it's that one person, you just like you look at as a mentor that you think, you know what, if this person say this, you could take it in a way like you could be like critical with yourself and be like, okay, yeah, you know what, maybe I do need to like, I mean, not probably stop totally what I'm doing, but like lessen down on that and put some time over here or whatever the case is. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. Someone asked me, where can we find you and your music?
You can find me everywhere. I'm on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Apple. It's all the same name, O apostrophe Deriic. Oderiic.
And Instagram is the same too, right, with Derek?
Yeah, Oderiic, but with no apostrophe because they don't allow that. Just
Allow the symbols and whatnot. I feel it. I feel it. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
yes, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure being able to work with you when we were putting the concert together and working together when it came to just marketing and pushing everything through, and now being able to have you on there. It's always been a pleasure. Someone who's singing ATO music as well.
Yes, ATO Music is the label I'm signed to.
Okay.
Yeah. My label, my two close bros, you know what I mean? The COs, and basically, yeah, those were the two people on my team that hold me accountable the most. It's people like that is what I was talking about, right? People that are not just close to you, but like they don't have anything to lose from seeing you win, basically.
Right.
Need people like that around you, you know?
Right. Mo just put up your Spotify link. So what I'm gonna do is when I repost this, I'm gonna put a link to your Spotify. I'll put a link to ATO, a link for you.
Yes.
So anyone that's watching or wants to come back to rewatch this, you'll be able to see all of the links in terms of where you can find Oderiic. Thank you again for being on here. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
No
And yeah, thank you very much. Thank you to all of our viewers.
Thank you guys.
And tomorrow, actually, just for everyone that is watching, we are going to be having a live on YouTube and Facebook called Beyond Bars, and it's going to be about individuals who were incarcerated and have become entrepreneurs and what they've done to overcome the barriers.
What time?
It starts at 7 p.m. tomorrow, so it's going to be live on Facebook and YouTube.
Okay.
We've got quite a few people that are going to be on there, so that's going to be something that's really, really big for anyone who wants to jump on.
Tune into that for sure. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone watching. Blessings always. And yeah, have a good night.